won't even bother saying how late you are.
So sorry, guys.
We're only there. That was 2 hours ago.
Toast to the bride and the groom. Justine and Mike.
You look glowing today. Never seen you look so happy.
Hello and welcome to What the Flick. I am Christy, this is Matt, this is Alonso, and we're just smiling and happy and peppy here today to talk to you about Melancholia. It's not just a state of mind, it's also a planet from Lars von Trier. So who wants to describe it? You want to describe it?
I'll describe
ahead,
it. So this is a story, at least the first half is about a woman named Justine, played by Kirsten Dunst, who has crippling depression, and you're getting her wedding reception and her trouble getting through that and trying to be happy. Then the second half of it, there seems to be a planet that's going to run into the Earth.
What star is that? The red one.
I don't know.
What's going on, Justine?
It's a planet that has been hiding behind the sun. Now it passes by us.
I just have one thing to say. Enjoy it while it lasts.
I'm afraid of that stupid planet.
And it is not going to hit us.
You promise? Life is only on Earth. And not for long.
Okay, so I think this is Lars von Trier's best movie in a long time. Maybe since Breaking the Waves.
I would say since Zentropa.
I love Zentropa, a favorite movie by him.
I've called this the Lars von Trier movie for people who hate Lars von Trier movies.
And yet it's very Lars von Trier-ish.
It is,
Yeah.
but I did not feel this sort of like overwhelming contempt for all of humanity in it, which is what I usually walk away. That's usually my takeaway from his movies.
They hate themselves enough. They don't need you to hate them as well.
Exactly. But no, this one I was captivated by it. The performances are extraordinary. Kirsten Dunst won Best Actress at the Cannes Film Festival this year, and now I see why.
She's amazing in this.
So good.
She lends a subtlety to this performance. She plays this character who's got this crippling level of depression, right?
To the point where she's catatonic at one point, practically.
And you completely buy it.
Right.
She really sells it, and she plays it. She doesn't play it big. She plays it really small at times, and it's just amazing, and you really go on that journey with her.
There's also great subtlety, I'm sorry, in the way she tries to navigate her wedding day and put on these really strained, false smiles.
Right. Yeah,
and she can't even be bothered to go cut the cake. There's a lot of subtlety there.
And you
as
see
well.
her in the hallway at one point, having left the bedroom, trying to get back downstairs, and you see her like practicing her fake smile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I was going to say, but then also you've got Charlotte Gainsbourg as her sister, and they make this really cool kind of yin and yang. They're light and dark, and they come at things in opposite ways, and they support each other in surprising ways. When one needs it, the other one is there to sort of take care of things. Which, in a von Trier movie, like they're not like murdering each other or selling each other into white slavery. It's like, wow,
But then as the planet approaches, like in the second half of the Claire half, their reactions change completely, and one becomes the yin, the other becomes the yang.
Exactly.
Like as the planet comes closer, Justine feels better and lighter, and like if the world's going to end, she's psyched and she's ready for it.
And because somebody who's got that level of depression is expecting the worst anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So
now it's happening.
Well, so they can handle it.
She knows from Melancholia, as we know at this point. So when the planet named that is about to collide with the Earth, she's been there, done that. I love the movie. It's so gorgeous.
It's
gorgeous. I know this is kind of a cliche, but there are so many sort of images, especially from the beginning, the opening section of the film.
I hated that part.
Did you?
Really?
I loved it.
Oh my God!
So beautiful.
I hated that so much.
That you could frame and put in a museum. I mean,
you know what?
Why did you hate it?
I thought it was so self-indulgent. I thought it was so pretentious. Like, look at these beautiful images. It was
because
like
watching.
Yeah, but it was like watching the video for Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden. It was like,
look,
please, come on. Kids watching our show.
Yeah,
exactly.
While you're on YouTube,
look it up. You'll see what I'm talking about.
But for me, I kind of felt like he was setting us up. It's foreshadowing, but it's also it felt like I was kind of being mentally put in the frame of mind for the rest of the movie.
You know, I have to say, my reaction with this film, I started out hating this movie. I got into it, I'm watching the beginning of it, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is going to be a bunch of pretentious bullshit. And as it goes on, I started to come around, and the next day, I found myself thinking about it all night and the next day, and I found that the movie really affected me, but I felt my complaint about this movie is similar to what Ben had said about Drive, which is, I felt like, as a director, Von Trier gets in the way sometimes. I felt like the wedding scene that's the first half of the movie goes on for probably about 20 minutes too long. I feel like there's too much of that. And also, I never got a sense of how she would end up married to the guy she's marrying. I found that the casting of Alexander Skarsgård, who is not in the movie, supposed to be related to his real-life father, Stellan Skarsgård, took me out of the movie and was distracting, and I thought that was actually irresponsible casting on behalf of
I didn't know they were father and son until I Wikipedia'd it afterwards. So I actually
we read that film for a living. I think the average
I
person
did not know that.
But they totally look
right?
alike. Come on, they
I don't know.
Anyway.
It didn't bother me. I don't think the wedding sequence goes long. I mean, I like the movie more than you do. I'm glad that you liked it some, but for me, as somebody, because I really did not go into this with any kind of enthusiasm. I mean, Christy and I saw Antichrist together, and we were both just like tearing our hair up.
They're playing the same piece of Wagner over and over and over
it's so
again.
great though.
It's so
And I didn't know it was Wagner. I was thinking, wow, this score is awesome. Who did this?
Yeah. It's a prelude to
Tristan and Isolde.
It's the prelude to that.
And I felt like ultimately there's this really ham-fisted message that it's doing about depression, whereas you may think you're going to dodge it, it's going to come back and get you, and you can't escape it. And that's the thing that I had a problem with, because I thought otherwise it does two things really effectively. I found that
depression is like a planet circling your orbit.
Well, no, seriously.
It might crash into you if you're not careful.
Well, and that's the thing. And I felt like it really did that in a really overbearing sort of way, whereas I felt like between the wedding scene and some of the stuff that happens later, I felt I got a real sense of empathy for what Dunst was going through. And early on in the movie, as I'm watching it with my wife, I turned to her, I'm like, just take your fucking meds and get over it. And
I thought that too. I thought, well, some Lexapro and get it over with.
But
right,
as other characters react that way, you start, I felt like I was coming around and starting to feel like what a horrible experience somebody who's got that level of depression, like what it's like when no one understands and when you yourself don't understand. And it's
not like I'm sorry, it was not entirely in a vacuum either, because you meet her parents who were a mess in their own way, her awful boss. I mean, there's
seemingly
some context,
no one around her understands her and is willing to really deal with her, except for her sister. Even her new husband doesn't really get it.
Right.
Her sister's the only one who really is in her corner. You know, the scene where where her sister's trying to get her in the bath was jaw-dropping. I thought
because she's totally naked.
And when the sister, when ultimately the sister says, you know what, we practice for tomorrow.
Right.
That was really moving. And then to have the sister on more than one occasion in the movie say, sometimes I hate you so much. That was so real and so honest.
Don't they say it to each other, in fact?
Well, no, I think
Charlotte Gainsbourg says it twice to Kirsten Dunst.
Oh, okay.
Right. Claire says it a couple times to Kirsten Dunst, and I felt like that was really honest. But I felt like, and then the other thing I thought the movie did really well is at the end of the film, as the planet's getting closer, there's this sense of dread that you get that I found very, almost overwhelming. And as the movie was done, I thought, I'm going to have bad dreams about this.
Yeah.
I thought it did a really good job of that, but I felt like the movie's probably about 20, 30 minutes too long, and I felt like, the art direction and just the way it's shot kind of gets in the way of telling what would otherwise be a really compelling story.
No, the visuals absolutely, they complete the mood. The dread is palpable. I did not need the last shot. I think suggesting what might be their fate is more powerful than actually showing it. So I loved it, except for that. Whether it's a planet or whether it's actual depression.
I was okay with that.
Yeah. No, whether it's a metaphor or whether it's an actual planet, I don't think it really matters. I mean, it's the sense of doom and dread that resonates with you afterward, which you clearly experienced.
I guess. I mean,
it's what matters.
It's. I found that the metaphor of the planet being, the depression that you may have gotten around, but is going to come back and get you, and you can't escape it, I thought was just overwhelming. And I thought, for me, it took away from the movie, from what would otherwise be a really moving film.
Well, Lars is not subtle. Okay, so we have to do numbers. We have to go. Please go ahead.
8.8.
Okay, and you
not as
said
excited. 6.5, but I think it's still worth it watching.
Okay, I gave it a 9. Ben did math here somewhere. 8.1. Which is about where it is in the tomato world as well. But yeah, this is his best movie in a long, long time, I would say. So if you love Lars von Trier.
And wherever you are, it's screening. It's available on demand from like Amazon
it actually
and places.
hits theaters on the 11th.
Hits theater, but if you're living somewhere where it's showing theatrically, see it on the big screen because it is gorgeous.
It's huge. All right, thank you guys. Enjoy. Bye-bye.
Bye.